So a couple of months ago, I went to South Africa with the intent of making a documentary, and the video is about if South Africa don't change the following behavior, then we have all the reason for economic turmoil. So in this video, I'm talking about sport and recreation, education, infrastructure, prison reform and correctional services, and lastly, I'm talking about transportation in South Africa. So here goes. Taking a flight to South Africa today, and I'm just wishing her a safe flight, and I will be traveling to South Africa tomorrow. I hope everything goes well. It's not like she's never traveled before.
But I'm alone.
Okay, see you. I need to go to work, so I don't have much time. Bye. On our way back to South Africa, my local airport winds After much delay, our flight has been rescheduled, maybe because of bad weather. Flight couldn't initially take off, so yes, flying. Managed to pass through customs with my drone. I'm just happy so far.
Ladies and gentlemen,
haven't had any problems.
it is a safety
I was stopped
requirement
though
that all hand
with my
carried
Ronin
items are
battery.
securely stowed
I had to
under the
take it
seat
out
in
of
front
my
of
main
you
luggage.
or in the overhead compartment.
So don't put any lithium batteries in your check-in luggage. Take it with you.
It has been a pleasure looking after you, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you for flying Cafe Dragon.
Almost in South Africa. Can't wait to begin this documentary that I'm about to do. It's an election coming. Can't wait to see what the streets look like.
Your seat back is in the full upright position and tray tables are folded away. Place the armrest down and open all window blinds. Once again, please be reminded that overweighting preserves unnecessary of all your luggage. Thank you for your attention. Cabin crew, please begin the cabin for departure. Ladies and gentlemen, we should get this flight.
We're going to land in the southern direction, and winds on the ground is from a south of about 20 kilometers an hour, a few clouds around.
On behalf of Captain Pearson and the entire crew, we thank you for choosing to fly with British Airways today. It's been a pleasure having you on board with us. We trust you have enjoyed our hospitality and we look forward to welcoming you on board again
So
in
I've
the near
just passed the
future.
last gate on what I consider a very short flight from China to South Africa, Cape Town. So hopefully everything will go according to plan.
Hey, Suid-Afrikaans. Nah, kan nie jou. Cape Afrikaans. Vies, Ey, ek is Suid-Afrikaans en ek maak Afrikaans nou die bes. En ek kyk Afrikaans, ek gebruik Afrikaans reg. Ek is Cape Afrikaans en ek kyk Afrikaans met respek. Op die tip gaat sy dans, het sy Afrikaans rap. Ek is Cape Afrikaans en ek maak Afrikaans nou die bes. En ek kyk Afrikaans, ek gebruik Afrikaans reg. Ek is Suid-Afrikaans en ek kyk Afrikaans met respek. Op die tip gaat sy dans, het sy Afrikaans rap.
The documentary that I'm doing is about sport, recreation, education, infrastructure, prison reform and correctional services. And lastly, it will be about transportation. So my point of view is from an economic entrepreneurial perspective. I'm a graduate in commerce, so I'm just going to give you my point of view, which is always from a monetary perspective. So firstly, I want to start off with sport and recreation, because I feel at the moment the sport industry is doing okay with regards to transformation. So what I want to emphasize in this documentary is that there's too much emphasis on affirmative action, which is technically taking a player of non-white background and giving him the same amount of opportunities as his counterparts, which means that people who've had economic privileges that non-white didn't have. And for the purposes of this documentary, when I refer to black or African people, it's all inclusive, that's not white, meaning not British, English, European, former European settlers that came to the country under that bracket, and under Afrikaner or English, doesn't matter, I'm not a racist. So for the purposes of this documentary, Africans, because we're talking about Africa, I have to use the terminology Africans. Okay, that being said, there's too much emphasis on affirmative action, trying to develop African players to make it to the national teams. So when I'm talking about national teams, let's talk about the three biggest sports in South Africa right now, which is football, rugby and cricket. If you look at the numbers in a football team, the starting amount of players is 11 and then you have the bench. Then go to rugby, 15 players on the field and the rest are on the bench. A total of 23 on a match day. It used to be 22. So if you take cricket, 11 players on the field, then there's no way at our best attempts that we will emancipate people from economic poverty. So we should do away with trying to influence sport, because it's more going to push the buttons of esteem. What am I trying to say with regards to the esteem thing? So previously, all the sports teams that represented South Africa were lily white, and then we were just window dressed with maybe one or two players. You know what I mean. So the argument at the time between 1995 and up until this point was that black players were not worthy of making the international teams. If they had the same amount of money spent or invested into them, that they would have been good enough to make the teams. Fair enough, okay, we can get the national team to make the targets that the government has set, but it's not going to solve the problem. If all of that money was invested into other parts of the society, then we would have bear more fruits. So on to the next topic, education. I think our education is very good. We are recognized in China, USA, all over the world. So much so that one of the most reputable series in terms of being witty has recognized our judicial system. What am I talking about? I'm talking about none other than Suits. If you know the lady who married the recent Prince William, Meghan Markle, who used to play Rachel in Suits. In that series, they often refer to South Africa. So in terms of judicial systems and our education in law, here I have to thank University of Cape Town, who's ranked as the number one. Then we are pretty much very highly respected in terms of our law. Also the other universities in South Africa with regards to law. People are coming from all over the world to study in South Africa. So what am I talking about? There are not enough places for all the students who have made it in their senior certificate exams, the matrics. There's not enough places for them to go and study. So what should we do? We should prioritize over the next 10 years to say that we want to double the amount of universities, meaning that the state should spend more money on higher education or institutions of higher learning, meaning we need to educate more people so that we can send more people over the rest of the world to go and work, pay off their student debt, and also to work inside of South Africa. Next topic, with regards to infrastructure. Yes, I agree that Africans should solve African problems, but one shouldn't be arrogant and conceited thinking that we can do it from inside of our own borders without ever leaving the country. That would be very naive. We should learn from the best. Our leaders should learn from countries like USA and China in particular, because these are the leading economies in the world. And in terms of an industrialization perspective, a country such as Germany is also very highly respected. Damn, the traffic outside. So Germany is also very highly respected when it comes to making machinery that can scale, meaning produce products in large volumes. So in my classes, in my business classes that I've done in China, I've had the privilege of working with mining engineers, doctors, students, lecturers, business owners, urban planners, just to name a few that have been students in my class that are learning English. One thing that is evident is their eagerness to learn, because they know that English is the international language of business. The same goes for us. Our next generation of leaders should study and obtain knowledge from these first world countries and first world economies in order to learn from their infrastructures and then mix it with our African minds. Meaning, from a native perspective, we understand our people and what would work in a South African economic structure, how our people think and what they respect. So we should mix it with our own minds and then make our African economy like the Americas and the US, the Chinese. What works for them, and just mix it with our perspective and make it an African first world infrastructure. Also, the reason why China is regarded as the world's biggest economy, and according to the Chinese perspective, how they measure it is they are 6 in terms of income per capita. So yes, the economy can be the biggest in the world, but they also have the world's largest population. What does it mean? The money that is circulating around to the individual on the ground. In terms of that per capita, which means per head, they are 6 in the world. So they are not the number 1 yet, but that's what they are aiming towards. So why am I referring to China? Because China is a communist country and they've been locked they've been locked in terms of business internationally. Only in the 70s did China open their doors to economic trade internationally, meaning that the people could go to other countries and that other people could come to China. You get what I mean? So maybe I will talk about this in a separate vlog. But what I want to say about this with regards to infrastructure, the very famous Mr. Jack Ma Ying, referencing his Alibaba and Alipay and Taobao. The reason why China has grown so fast was because of the dense population, meaning in South Africa we're building like this. All the big contracts that the guys are getting from government, the plans they're submitting is horizontal. We're thinking outwards instead of up. What's the repercussions of going up? More people in a closer proximity. So if you need things that needs to be delivered, you just move in a small space. You can drive with a scooter that's made from electricity. Short distances, I drive an electric scooter myself and it's got a lot of benefits. I plug it into work, I don't have gas as an expense. So it's more efficient. I'm not going to elaborate on that, I will do it maybe in another video. Next, prison reform. Currently, our prison system, our prison reform and correctional services are failing big time. What do I mean? People go to jail, they come out, they do the same crimes again. I'm an advocate of the death penalty, and hear me out, let me explain. People who do premeditated murders and after a psychological examination has been done and people have come, or the doctors or the experts have come to the conclusion that the person is not fit for society, then the person should be executed. As simply as that. Because these guys, they go to prison. You can go to prison and get the information and the research. They go to prison, they've got nothing to lose. They make the warders' lives difficult. They make the inmates' lives difficult. And they formulate gangs because they've got nothing to lose. So we need to get the death penalty. Not all crimes are punishable by death. Murder, rape, aggravated circumstances, there's special cases. Yes, China execute more people than the rest of the world combined, but if you go and look at the actual statistics, it's not a lot of people in relation to the population. Don't jump to conclusions. Go and do your own due diligence and go and do the research before you go and run your mouth on social media about how many people China are killing. It's not a lot. Next part. So I think my point of view, how we can transform the prison system. Yes, our government is already spending a lot of money on food, free accommodation. People are watching TV for free. I'm saying nobody wants to go to prison. And it's not nice to be in prison. People are getting raped, lots of things are happening. Yes, it's not a nice place to be. For some people, yes, and for others, not. But the aim is to correct. And the brothers in prison, the friends, or whoever is in prison listening, I feel for you guys. I think we should educate you inside of prison. When you come out, that you have an education, you can work with your hands. Meaning, even if you've got tattoos, you can use your own hands. You can do welding, you can build, you can do plumbing. You understand where I'm going? So, in the past, I read the diary of Jan van Riebeeck. In the past, we used to have slave labor, forced labor, and people worked against their will. So what I'm trying to say is, it should be a yes and a win-win situation. Inmates should be able to decide, okay, I want to go into railway, I want to go into building, and then we can rebuild this country. We can build new railroads, meaning we get better railway transportation system. We should be going from Johannesburg to Cape Town with a train in 4 or 3 hours or 5 hours, and it should be very cheap and it should be safe. If you are in prison, you should be able to build buildings for the government. You should be able to build schools for the government to educate other children. You should be able to study engineering. Yes, I know this is already a reality that you can do it right now, but all those people that are inside of jail, we should use and utilize their skills and their knowledge, because there's a lot of them with very good skills. The last one I want to talk about is about transportation. Right now, the taxi guys are always fighting. Why are you guys fighting? Hulle moenie beklei nie, man. Do you know why you guys are fighting? Because certain people are manipulating you to think that there are not enough money for everyone to be made. Back in the day, when the taxi industry started, it was out of pure need. Now we're running out of pure greed. Where am I going? I'm talking about back in the day, people did it because there was business opportunity. Right now, maybe there might be too many taxis on the road for the current taxi system. So what should you be doing? You should be thinking, how can I expand? Not fucking kill my other entrepreneur who's also trying to hustle and make more money. No, my brother. You should be thinking more innovatively. How can I help my people? My people now have become middle class. They've got more money. How can I serve that need? If my taxi is not making enough money, maybe I should start advertising in my community a trip to the beach, a trip to another city. Yes, we have cruise ships, but some people don't have the money. But maybe if you advertise, spend 3 or 4 days in another city or town of which there is a demand for, then you can make more money. Don't just always think about how can we diminish. Think about how can we grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's my 2 cents. I've got more business ideas. I'm gonna share it when I have time. This video took me months to complete because I'm just too freaking busy at work and with other things. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please disagree with me, please agree with me. That's how we grow. To differ in opinion, I won't get angry at you. Thank you for watching.